Oba, Eyewitness News.
And lastly, a Brussels court has ordered Etienne Davignon to stand trial over the 1961 killing of Congolese independence icon Patrice Lumumba. Davignon, a one-time European Union commissioner, is the only one still alive among 10 Belgians accused by Lumumba's family of complicity in the murder. Lumumba was executed on the 17th of January 1961 at the age of 35 in Katanga. His body was never recovered. A partly cloudy Wednesday with isolated showers and thunder showers expected in Gauteng tomorrow. Johannesburg drops to overnight lows of 15 degrees, peaking at 25, Pretoria 16 and 28, and Vereniging 15 and 24 degrees. Noluthando Ngeno, Eyewitness News.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
Comfort ends where Marawa Sports Worldwide begins.
Kaizer Chiefs, well, I'm happy they won. We won, but we need to reinforce. The team is full of average players. We cannot compete with Sundowns and Pirates.
If it's shaking sport, we are already on it.
On board here, it's Dango Watara, and now Thiago! 2-0 Brentford. Direct and ruthless.
Hashtag MSW.
Gaten McKenzie, guys, he says that we're going to get VAR soon.
Another promise we made was to move forward with the implementation of VAR in South African football. We were told that implementing VAR in South Africa could cost us as much as 80 million.
Mr. Victor Gomes, Malume.
With VAR, you need to delay your whistle. So fans, this is something that we need the fans to understand, that when referees start delaying the whistle, it's because there's a promising attack. In the event that a goal is scored, the referee allows the goal to be scored, and then the offside can be checked like most of the fans now know.
Strong opinions, strong sources, strong sport.
Yeah, I must say I'm very excited with the prospect of VAR being introduced into our league. But my worry is, will we get the same, if not the same, but the standard of the VAR that we see in international leagues like your EPL and La Liga and the likes of, because what we saw, man, between Stade Malien and Mamelodi Sundowns, those images that the referees were using to make those decisions, for me, I don't think they were very conclusive. They were using wide angles to make those decisions, and especially when you watch CAF Champions League, that VAR is not make sure. So I wanted to know.
For me, it's just goal line technology that is needed. I'm still not convinced with a lot of this VAR stuff.
This is where sport breaks, bends, and gets told straight.
As for Rulani, the decision he take to leave MCLJ, I don't think it was a wise decision. Why he left MCLJ? He chose money over football now. I'm a little bit worried about Rulani now. I'm a little bit worried.
We know all about money, but I'm not sure about the move.
Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live.
Well, a great deal has been said about where he is, what he's doing. Is he behind bars? Has he been locked up indefinitely? Or where is he going to next? So the best thing to do is always to get it directly from the horse's mouth. And that's what we aim to do today with Rhulani Mokoena. Welcome to the show. This is Marawa Sports Worldwide, proudly brought to you by Hollywood Bets.
Let's go! The moments you remember. The games you can't forget. Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Vuma FM and Rise FM. Powered by Hollywood Bets.
He's in a league of his own.
Marawa Sports Worldwide.
And it goes through to the boundary.
This is where sport breaks, bends, and gets told straight.
All of us there have our smallanyana skeletons.
Hashtag MSW on 947, Vuma FM, Rise FM and Sowetan Live.
Well, before we get to that exclusive interview, let's catch up on a couple of stories, though, because the Proteas coach, Ashwell Prince, has admitted that his side were brought down back to earth after the 68-run defeat to New Zealand in the second T20 International in Hamilton. And following a 7-wicket window in the series opener, South Africa batting collapsed in pursuit of 176, with only George Linder offering any form of resistance.
Yeah, I think credit to New Zealand. They played really well. Devon Conway played a fantastic innings for them. Just holding the innings together on a surface that wasn't ever free-flowing for any of the batting teams. But Devon played a lovely innings just to hold things together, and then a few little cameos in and around him. And then obviously they had a strong finish to their innings that gave them a really competitive score out there for today.
Well, the Asian Football Confederation says that it has received no indication that Iran will miss this year's World Cup in the United States, Canada and Mexico. The AFC Secretary General Windsor John stressed that while FIFA oversees the tournament, Iran remain one of Asia's top teams and occupy part of the Confederation's quota. He said that the AFC is monitoring the situation, but has heard absolutely nothing official from Iran's federation to suggest that they will withdraw.
A role, no, but because they are our member, we want them to play. You know, they qualified, they always qualify first, you know, Iran, one of the top teams. And we want them to play as well. So we hope that they will solve their issues, whatever it is, and be able to participate in the World Cup. Role, no. Because for World Cup, FIFA is directly dealing with them. But they occupy the AFC's quota of 8.5. So if you look at that role, yes, we are monitoring whether they are playing or not. But at the moment, there are no official information that they are not playing. I mean, there are already rules in FIFA how to replace so it's not there yet. Anyway, as far as we know, Iran is playing. We have not heard anything from the federation. We've heard from other people, but the federation said they are playing. It's a very emotional moment. Everybody's saying a lot of things. At the end of the day, it's the federation who should decide if they are playing. And as of today, the federation is playing. I mean, has told us that they are going to the World Cup.
Yeah, that's confirmation coming through. Iran going to the World Cup, as it should. Well, tonight's another full fixture, guys. It's such an important UEFA Champions League night. The playoffs underway. Sporting are going to be hosting this team that people just can't beat. People wondering where on earth did it come from. Bodo Glimt certainly looking for glory tonight. Arsenal hosting Bayer Leverkusen. Chelsea also at home to PSG. While Manchester City with the mountain to climb against Real Madrid. Who will emerge victorious? That's the big question. I know Chelsea fans, hey. The manager, Liam Rossinho, insists though that the transfer ban imposed on the club will not negatively impact his side. And speaking ahead of tonight's Champions League clash with Paris Saint-Germain, Rossinho said that the issue is now behind them and the focus is on building for the long term.
No, it's not a negative distraction. I think actually that's a line drawn through that issue, and we can move on and we can plan to make this club as strong as possible in the long term, and that is the idea from the ownership, myself and everybody involved with the club.
And the Bayer Leverkusen head coach Kasper Schultmann says that his players must seize the opportunity as they prepare to face Arsenal. Speaking ahead of the decisive clash tonight, he told his players that chances like this do not come often and urged them to live in the moment, take advantage of their hard work and also their training and do everything possible to win.
I think there's also motivation in the way the pressure that Arsenal has. It's great. For me, as a coach, we're in sports. It's the next 2 months. Everything is decided. They have been building up for this for seasons, year after year, and now they're here. So they have a squad that has been built for the last. Miguel is the 6th or 7th season. They have built the squad to compete. As I said to the players, you don't know as a player how many chances you get at this point, at this stage. And an opportunity you should take. It's important to take and live in the minute, live in the moment, and try to take advantage of all the hard work, all the games you've played, all the training sessions you've made to take advantage of that right now when you play. It's being in the moment and seize the moment and do everything to try to win it.
Well, the Man City coach Pep Guardiola says that his side must remain patient and resilient as they attempt to overturn that 3-0 deficit. He also admitted, though, that it is unrealistic to expect 3 goals in the opening 20 minutes, stressing the need for a sustainable approach across all the departments.
It's easy for me, guys. The first 20 minutes, we have to score 3 goals. Yeah, perfect. Good message. But the reality is completely different. It's just to be sustainable in our approach, in our how to get to do it, and in all departments that we are working tomorrow or talk tomorrow about what we have to do until the end. And we know it's not able because the first result in the first leg was not the best one. So it's difficult sometimes, because we create the first 50, 20 minutes 4 or 5 times in byline for Bernardo was alone in the 6-yard box and 2-3 crosses, cutbacks that we didn't arrive, and they 3 shoots on target, 3 goals. So that is the Champions League. That's why it's so difficult. And the opponents, that's really good. We have to live with that. Of course, we have to take more risk in terms of trying, but even the results is not good in the first half. We have to keep going, carry on, go, and because you never know. You never know. No lo sé. Veremos los 5 minutos. De esos partidos mejor pensar lo que hemos de hacer. Si Mbappé se ha recuperado, pues mejor para ellos. Ya lo veremos mañana. Si juega, no juega. No lo sé.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
The story about Rulani, is it true? And it seems Rulani now is no longer, passionate about the free football. He's only passionate about the money. We know all about money, but I'm not sure about the move. People come dangling a carrot, he takes it.
Let's be honest, but also to say to somebody that they are motivated by money when you have not heard from the person to say, was that or is that the motivation? Lebohang is joining us. Good evening.
I hear most of the listeners are saying Rulani is not being loyal to the game. He's just chasing money. The more we have our coaches breaking these ceilings beyond our borders, maybe we can even push for our local PSL coaches to start earning competitive salaries.
We should be celebrating him in terms of what he has achieved and the clubs that he's managed to coach, even outside of South Africa.
MSW. MSW. Oh, magnificent! Marawa Sports Worldwide. Uncomfortable conversations.
Well, it's clear. I'm responsible. I'm the coach.
Necessary truths.
Nothing is just off, in my opinion.
MSW.
All right, so let's head off into our exclusive conversation tonight. And that's why we're going to be bringing a story that has rippled far and beyond the pitch. A headline that blurs the lines between football and front page news. Fresh from his departure at MC Alger, where he left the club sitting at the top of the league, and he now finds himself at the center of what we see as controversy. Detained at the Hawari Boumediene airport, allegedly is what we are told, caught with undeclared foreign currency and handed a 2-month suspended sentence, along with a fine and confiscation of the cash. It's the kind of moment that could derail any career. But not this one. Not this one, because even in the storm, a new chapter is already unfolding. Mokoena is set to take charge of Al Ittihad Tripoli, a move that's been powered by ambition, belief, and also the rare freedom to assemble his own technical team, including trusted lieutenants like Usenatemba Patel, Wendell Robinson. And that's why tonight we go beyond the headlines and what really happened in Algiers. What's his side of the story? How does he turn controversy into opportunity? And we're talking about one of the most talked about coaches on the continent right now, and that's Coach Rhulani Mokoena. Coach, thank you so much for your time, man. Good evening and welcome to the show.
Good evening, Big Rob, and always a pleasure to be with you, and thanks for having me, and good evening to your listeners.
Must be tired.
Yeah, but that's the nature of the game, isn't it? But we are there.
How do you describe this moment?
It's life, isn't it? The life is all about curveballs, and I'm learning very, very fast about that. And it's also about taking responsibility. Responsibility for everything that happens. Sometimes you are in control, sometimes you're not, but in the end it's your life, and you've got to be responsible and move as fast as possible. Try to stay focused and keep moving. There's ups and downs. I've enjoyed a lot of ups in my life. I've also enjoyed a lot of downs, but also because I've got a lot of love and support, and it makes it possibly a little bit easier to keep navigating and keep moving forward.
Which part of the world are you at as we speak?
Well, I'm still in Istanbul. We're in transit, so heading off to Libya, but still in transit from Algiers.
Okay, all right. So there's a lot that one needs to unpack, and I'm sure that you would want to set the record straight on many, many issues. And I do urge our shareholders and listeners of this show to switch on and listen as well as watch on the YouTube channel, because this conversation, as much as he's in transit, off to Libya and so on, we're able to bring you the visuals and the audio at the same time. And that's thanks again to a very, very smart technical team that we do have here who make all of these upgrades technologically and otherwise seem so seamless. So if you're on the YouTube channel, pop through, have a look at the conversation as it happens, and you can plant any of your comments or questions below on it as well. Coach, the issue of arrest, I mean, is that something that was blown out of proportion? Were you physically assaulted and then put handcuffs and then, I don't know, imprisoned? How do you describe that moment? Because you read so many different things from different publications and you get confused.
Yeah, sensationalism. We live in this world, isn't it? We live in a world where it's what sells, It's what makes people extremely interested in general affairs and public affairs. It doesn't bother me because I think it's the world we live in now, and society is this social media. Public interest, has shifted mainly from what has used to be primary focus areas, has become part of the periphery most of the time. So, yeah.
Take me to that moment at the Houari Boumediene airport. I mean, what exactly happened from your perspective?
Well, we were on our way to Istanbul, and it was myself and 3 other staff members, and I felt a little bit guilty that I was the only one on business, or booked into business class, and we then got to the airport, and we were told, we went to the airline, and we were told we could upgrade the seats for the staff at the counter. So we got to the counter. Cut a very long story short, we got to the counter, and then we were told we could only pay cash. We then tried to get some cash to pay, and just to upgrade the seats. And after, we were told we had to do it online. We tried to do it online. It was then rejected because of it had shut down, or the time had lapsed, whatever reason it may have been. And then we were still stuck with the cash. There was 4 of us, and there was no one else that we could hand over the amount to, and that was the scenario. But I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can steal or steal your salary or money that you've worked very, very hard for 9 months. You've worked very, very hard for.
Sure, and I mean, obviously, when they start to describe everything that you're talking about now as being undeclared foreign currency, how did you look back at that? And you're rightfully saying that that's money you've worked for. That is your salary. It's in your possession. How does it become undeclared foreign currency?
Yeah, but how do I work for a club, get a salary paid, and I still have to declare that I work? I think the public knows that I was the head coach of Mouloudia in Algeria, number 1 in the championship. We just won the Super Cup, and I think the people know that unless I was rendering my services for free, and I'm not so sure that was what was going on, So how do you declare something that is of public knowledge? I don't know how more to explain this to but it is what it is, Rob. it is what it is. It's not like I'm not a public figure working in a space where people are. You've got to declare if people are unawares of the facts, you know. And they knew that we had the currency. In fact, we don't even have. It's a complicated situation with employment regulations especially for foreigners in Algeria, and you just have to ask players like Kanyisile Mayo, for an example, how it works there. But it is what it is. You know, we couldn't redeposit the money. We couldn't, so we were caught in. And as the head coach of the group, I'm responsible for being in possession of it, and even more interesting was the fact that in terms of the legalities, it was said that the maximum that a foreigner could leave the country with was 5,000, but if you 5,000 times 4 is more or less 20,000, and the money was way less than 20,000. But it is what it is, you know, and things were blown completely out of proportion. Yeah. That's
I think what I'll do is we'll come back from the break, Coach. I'm glad that obviously from an audio-visual perspective, everything is clear and we can hear you. It's important to articulate this, and then we'll get into the football aspect of things while you are in transition over there. So that's our conversation with Rhulani Mokoena. So stick around though, don't go anywhere. You can also pop in. I'm also watching it on the YouTube channel, as clear as daylight. It's almost like the man is sitting right here in front of me.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live at the same time. #MSW.
947 loves a good food convo. And it doesn't get any yummier than What's the Difference?
It's a vibe.
The brand new Woolworths food podcast hosted by the incredible Sbongile Mafu.
My name is Sbongile Mafu. I am a lover of food.
And food writer extraordinaire, Steve Steinfeld.
I'm Steve Steinfeld. I'm a food writer and a restaurant critic.
It's packed with lively laugh-out conversations with the chefs, rule breakers, and game changers redefining food today.
I have a delicious secret.
So, join them to snack on big ideas and trends, feast on the stories shaping the future of food, and savor insights from industry leaders and Woolies' own food experts in new episodes dropping every week. Watch on YouTube or listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome to What's the Difference?
947 loves What's the Difference, the brand new Woolworths food podcast. And once you listen, you will too.
Add to cart. Love it.
Let's clear your cart when I care.
For real?
Yeah, bo. With my cashback from My Way, I will be getting 10% of my premiums back for staying claim-free for 2 years. So I'll have some extra cash to spoil you and let you live your way.
Dad, you're the best.
Real people, real cars, real rewards. For a quote, visit myway.co.za. My cashback is a feature on qualifying products paid after 2 claim-free years and all premiums paid. Premiums are risk profile dependent. My Way is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's and C's apply. My Way. Live your way. Welcome to Nando's Testimonials.
It's the flavor!
Real reviews by real people. Today's testimonial comes from Jeff in Kempton Park. Now, Jeff seems to be a man of very few words. We've asked him to use his few words to tell us what he thinks of our flame-grilled peri-peri full chicken with any 2 sharing sides for $2.83. Jeff?
Nice.
Well, there you have it. When the meal is such a mouthful, you really only need a few words, I guess. Nando's. Oh, what a place.
So, when are you lovebirds finally going to get married? Aibo! Your cousin Tanja just had a second baby, and I heard
You can't pause life, but you can take a holiday from payments. Get the Suzuki Jimny 5-door and Suzuki will cover up to your first 3 installments, so you can explore without limits this summer. Visit suzukiauto.co.za. T's and C's apply.
Lotto Star presents the Red Rake Rush Tournament, where every spin is a showdown. Hit the slots every Tuesday night and race your way to a share of 500,000 Rand. No minimum bet required. Will you claim your spot as one of the 500 lucky winners? Visit lottostar.co.za today. Your world of live games. Lottostar's licensed by the Mpumalanga Economic Regulator. No under 18. NRGP 0800 006 008. Winners know when to stop. T's and C's apply. All games are fixed odds betting events.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
The very first winner of the FIFA Peace Prize, the 45th and 47th President of the United States of America, Mr. Donald J. Trump.
I don't foresee FIFA making any decisions that will upset the United States, especially Donald John Trump.
And now I have to say we're the hottest country anywhere in the world, and we're going to keep it that way.
The same FIFA president is currently entertaining politics with Donald John Trump. We are held hostage, Mr. Marawa, by the likes of Danny Jordan, because they know that no political interference. But the same FIFA is currently entertaining politics with Donald John Trump. It is no longer about what is good for the goose is bad for the gander, but it's more about what is bad for the gander is bad for the goose.
Yeah, couldn't have said it better, man. I think that is happening in America is a disgrace. I think, FIFA have compromised themselves so much they've sold the game.
Hashtag MSW. Hashtag MSW.
Sure, Robbie.
The final word on every score.
He goes for long range.
Story and scandal.
President of the Federation has a lot to answer for.
Marawa Sports Worldwide own the evening drive. Live from MSW at 5:30.
Good evening, Marawa. It's Andrew here in Matlosana. I'm glad to hear that you'll be interviewing Coach Rulani. I just want to wish Coach Rulani all the best of luck in his endeavor. You know, I always looked at Rulani, Coach David, Coach Simani, Pito, as the people who are going to take South Africa to great heights, mainly Bafana. So their success is the country's success. So if Pito succeeds, if Rulani succeeds, I tell you, Bafana one day will succeed, will benefit, will reap the rewards from their hard work. So, Coach Rulani, all the best. But I hope one day you go to Europe. I think that's where the football is. Go to Europe, even if you're to coach a second-tier team. But Europe, my brother, do that. Thank you.
Hi, brother. Sergey Sitebe here. I just want to congratulate Mlungisi, Coach Rhulani Mokoena, for the new job and for leaving the Algerian team in such a good position after that 2-0 win. They stretched that lead, so they basically won the league. So I just want to congratulate him and wish him all the best in his new team. He's setting the pace. He shouldn't worry about the naysayers. He should just continue doing what is best. He's going to be the best that we ever seen from Zanzi. Thanks a lot, Abra Rob. Good show, as always.
Good evening, Mr. Rob. It's Ulufalang here. And good evening to the MSW shoulders. And good evening to Coach Mlungisi, the fixer, Rhulani Mokoena. Firstly, for your feat up until this very point, congratulations for what you've done in Algeria, winning the Algerian Super Cup, leaving the team in first position. What pushed you to leave MC Alger? Was it external? Was it external forces? Was it people not necessarily being pleased with you as the head coach and your style of play, despite you bringing a little bit of success in that particular team? Or was it just based on the fact that you really want to test yourself in different nations? What pushed you to go to Al Ittihad from MC Alger after 8 months in charge in Algeria? Great show as always. Thanks.
All right, thank you so much indeed. Our exclusive conversation with Coach Rhulani Mokoena in transit, as he said, Libya and the world. Those are the destinations. We're live on the YouTube channel. We're live on 947, live on Rise FM, Vuma FM, Sowetan Live, wherever you are. One thing I can tell you about a lot of these voice notes is that important questions are being asked, and that is why, he needed to find a private room, sit down, and afford us this opportunity as well. But I think the most important question here, Coach, that everybody's asking is, what motivated the move? MC Alger said top of the table, they're cup winners. You're about to lift a championship trophy, add on to the CV. Why the move now?
It's quite complicated, and to answer it in a few words, because it was a very difficult decision. It was very, very difficult, but we felt it was the right decision. It was motivated by a couple of things. The one was the fact that the team was in a very good position. Is in a very good position. Is in a strong position to continue to win the league, to win its third league title in a row, and a very historic title for the club. And the president, the players, they are strong enough, I think, to be able to see it through. A lot of people can question the timing, but we felt it was the right time, especially because also there was a better opportunity, an opportunity to drive a bigger project, a bigger sporting project, an opportunity also to help quite a few of our South African people to again explore, like we did with Coach Allen earlier in Wydad. We felt we were presented with an opportunity to give many South African coaches possibly opportunities to work outside of the country, whether that is through the first team, whether that is through the youth football space, whether that's through women's football, because those are the departments that we would be heading, and so therefore we'll be looking at trying to empower as many as possible, from South Africa. But of course, the people who not just because they are South African, but also because they have the necessary pedigree, expertise, and qualities to be able to support us in the project. But there was a lot of considerations, the potential for growth, the potential for possibilities to stay on even further beyond the current season, and we felt that the team, we were leaving the team at the right moment, on the back of it would have been more difficult to leave after we had a very difficult period, 3-4 weeks prior to this, after the Champions League exit. And that moment would not have been the right moment. But in a moment where we have 2 back-to-back wins, scoring 7 goals in 2 matches, and winning 2 difficult games against Mustagenem and Paradu, who are two very, very difficult sides, and keeping 2 clean sheets, we felt that it's better when you leave, and you leave when the team is strong and the team is in a healthier state than when you leave, when the team is not in such a good situation.
I mean, just to summarize what you're saying is that, was your exit purely football related, or did the off-field situation also accelerate the decision?
No. I had a lot of support. It would be impossible for me to sit here and say I was pushed, or in fact, I the club really tried to convince us to stay even longer. The players, the president, the fans. I think you see the reaction of the fans even on social media, and maybe even with what happened at the airport, because it's the most supported club. And I think a lot of that stemmed from the anger of the fans, and the people who love and support the football club. It's an incredible club. It really is, and it's got incredible people. The president is a very good leader, good person for the club. He loves the players. He wants to see the club succeed. He's a fan of the club. The players also, they love the club. They want to succeed with the club. They're extremely ambitious. So contrary to what people might try to distort, and create, it was very difficult to leave. I remember Mourinho leaving Inter Milan, and it was actually reminiscent of that, when saying goodbye to the group, to the staff, was extremely complicated. But that's because when we are in an environment, whether it's Wydad and Sundowns, we are very genuine and authentic, and we deliver the best that we can, and we make connections, and that's the most important thing sometimes in football. We won the Super League, but I can tell you that I live with a lot more gratitude for the hearts and for the lives that we connected with. That's for me. I've always said I want to be known. I'm not perfect by no means, but I want to be known as a good person more than I will be known as a good coach, and for me that's very, very important. So when I leave a space, I want to leave the space well, in the right way, with a lot of respect, with a lot of possibilities to still live with my integrity intact. It's not always possible, but you always try. And I think that's how we left with Muludia.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think from my side, what I was imagining, given your position in the log table, was a foreign coach, which obviously you are in foreign land, lifting the championship trophy. So yesterday, when we had Reaction Monday, you might have heard or picked it up on the clip that we have on the promo. Some people alluding to the fact that Rulani was being motivated for your decision by money. There was a bigger offer that came through with bigger perks, etc. So you dropped everything in pursuit of that. Is that a correct way? How do you correct somebody who says that to you?
Well, I'm already being paid a salary at, or was already being paid a salary at Muludia. The money is, if anybody knows me, and speak to the people that know me, I worked in Wydad 8-9 months without a salary rope. I am not moved by money, believe me. There was a lot more on the table than just the financial perks, and people don't even know. I see the numbers that are being branded about, and I just laugh. I sometimes I say I wish that's what they were offering, but it's far from it. It's far from it, and there's a lot more from a sporting perspective. There's a lot more from a possibility to do more, to stretch myself more, to test myself more, to challenge ourselves more, to work with people who have made incredible sacrifices and contributions to me also personally, and to also look to help those people to also expand their careers and grow more, and that's maybe the question can be loyalty, but I know what being loyal to a football club, not once, not twice, but 3 times. I know what being loyal to a football club has gotten me, and sometimes you have to make decisions not from that perspective, and history has taught me that. I was loyal to many football clubs in my career. And that was not a reward, there was no reward thereafter. But in this moment, I thought sometimes it's to extend a helping hand to a community in Libya, to help a football club that is trying to revive itself on the continent, for the country, and what it would do politically. In the country, for the people that love the club. We all know the political situation, but we also know the power that football offers to people and to a country, and the power that the success of the most supported, most successful club in Libya. What that success would mean to the people, and that's these are the things that drive me, to make an impact, to try to make a positive contribution. That's more than what people would understand,
All right, and while we're chatting, I'm also just monitoring all the conversations on the YouTube channel, and I'm just picking up one from Ukwati, who says that dogs don't bark at stationary vehicles; they wait. for it to move. I saw a post saying that Rulani was arrested for 500k cash, and I was just like, nah, man, can't be. Tumlungisi, keep flourishing. God be with you in your journey. There was also another one from Mashoto was saying that Rulani must continue raising our flag like he is, like his uncle did in his soccer career, so keep going. So lots of positive ones. Like I said, if you're driving and you're going to get home, switch on to the YouTube channel. That's where we're having our conversation. You can also log in any questions or comments below. We're also taking your voice notes. We're going to be taking some of your calls as well. When we come back from the break, obviously we're going to quickly shut this thing down before it shuts us down, so we don't be caught up in that muddle. But when you come back from the break, all will be clear for our conversation to continue as we chat as well about the makeup of the technical team that he'll be taking with them along. And I know that he always believes in South African coaches, and is that going to be the case?
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live at the same time. #MSW.
Vodacom's Red Hot Deals presents ready-to-use home internet with 400 gigs of anytime data, plus a Vodacom 5G home router with up to 20 megabits per second download speed for just $399 per month over 36 months. Miss it? Miss out. Available in-store and online. T's and C's apply. Further together, Vodacom.
This Easter, when you travel to KwaZulu-Natal for culture, you find stories that live beyond the moment. Travel for the ocean and find the courage to meet the waves. Come for wildlife and capture your child seeing elephants for the first time. Travel for a weekend and leave with longer memories. Because when you travel to KZN, you get so much more than a destination. You live the feeling of the magical Zulu Kingdom. Choose so much more this Easter. Go to visitkznsa.com. Brought to you by the KZN Tourism and Film Authority.
When it comes to medical aid, we often only hear the bad news.
Another bill!
But at BestMed, we're about the good news. The relief in finding the right medication. The joy when that weird pain stops.
Yippee!
And the smile that comes with getting good news. This year, BestMed is bringing you one of the lowest contribution increases among South Africa's top medical schemes. BestMed, personally yours. Visit bestmed.co.za. BestMed Medical Scheme is an authorized FSP.
With Bob, you get everything you need under one roof. Buy, sell, send, receive, pay, and get paid. Bob Shop makes your hustle possible and lets you find that one special thing. Bob Go gets it to where it needs to be, fast. That means no hanging around, just pickups and drop-offs when it suits you. And Bob Pay makes every payment quick and simple. Shop, pay, go. Shopego with Bob.co.za.
You hear that? That's the sound of business execution finally visible. No more chasing people and reports, no more disconnected systems, no more guessing if our business is performing or not. iStratGo connects strategy, people, performance, and day-to-day work into one clear software platform, so leaders can see what's working, what's not, and where to focus. Because when execution is visible, everything runs better. Book a demo on iStratGo.com. iStratgo.com.
When it comes to family, you can't please everyone all the time, except on a Tuesday at Panarotis. If one wants pizza and one wants pasta, or one wants the same as his brother, but the brother wants something else, and if you want to feed the whole family, but you don't want to pay more, come to Panarotis every Tuesday and get any classic pizza or pasta for just $99.90 each. Panarotis Classic Tuesdays. Big on family, big on pizza. T's and C's apply.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Some people say we don't need VAR. How will you see that with a naked eye? Football is not waiting for South Africa.
Mr. Victor Gomes, Malume, people think that VAR is just like a screen and a replay, but it's far more complex than that. If you start with one game, you really want to do every single game to have VAR, because you can't have other teams now saying that, no, but our game didn't have VAR, so we were supposed to get a favorable decision or whatever the case might be. Paint a picture for us how it's going to work.
I've heard statements being made, the stadium doesn't have its own facilities. VAR has got nothing to do with any stadium. The VAR equipment belongs to a service provider, and it will be installed in a particular stadium, and it will work from there. It's only fair that every game take place with VAR. We will start the league all at once so that it's conducive to every team and fair to every team.
MSW.
MSW. Yes, Rob, my advice on Rulani would be not to be tempted to accept, local deals at the moment, because it's well and good for him to experience as many leagues as possible for his, football knowledge to broaden and to be a little bit wider. So I would love to see him coming back, at the ages of about 60 or so, having amassed all the experience and all the wealth, particularly in those oil-rich Arabian countries. It's not all in East London.
Evening, Rob. Evening, Coach Mulungisi, Rhulani Mokoena. Rob, we just happy that he's out of the whatever situation he was found. Because yesterday was very confusing. Others were saying he's arrested, others are saying it's just a lie. But I'm glad he clarified the matter. And then on the issue of him getting these gigs, so what is it that these African countries are seeing that locally we cannot see? Is it an issue of money, where maybe they are offering him enough, or is just the issue of us South Africans undermining our own? And currently, show me a coach that is more modern than Rulani, and I'm happy that he's going to work again with Temba Padela. I mean, how I wish I was in Safa. I would just give them the under 23 with 5 years contract. Good luck, Mulungisi, on a new project.
Good evening, Robert. This is Odysseus here in Cape Town. Thank you for having Rhulani in the studio, but at least he has clarified of the arrest issue. But I want to ask something about football, Rob. Rhulani has moved to so many clubs in a short space of time as a coach. Doesn't he think that it's going to impact him in future in his coaching capabilities? Because, you need to establish yourself maybe at one club for quite a long time. How does he see that, and how many the contract which is signed in Libya for how many years? Because he's a very good coach, and obviously would want Rhulani to stay at one club, to cement his legacy at one club, so that he can grow as a coach. Thank you, Robert. Odysseus in Cape Town.
Audacious in Cape Town, thank you very much indeed. Our conversation with Rhulani Mokoena in transit, heading off to Libya. As he says, Coach, thank you very, very much indeed for the time. Let me pick it up on Audacious and his comment saying that consistency in staying in one club, is that not something that you would wish for yourself, for a legacy to be cemented?
Yeah, sometimes it's not within our control, We try to stay for as long as we can, but it's not always within our control.
All right. I see you, David, and Parkridge. I think you wanted to ask something similar, so I'm sure that does answer your question in that regard. I think also just on Facebook, because all different platforms are really logged into this conversation, wanting to know. But you can confirm for us at 10 to 7 South African time, Coach, that the club that you're headed off to is Al Ittihad Tripoli.
Yes, but let's wait for the club to make the necessary announcement. The club will make necessary announcements in due course.
And you start immediately?
That is the plan, yes.
What is the aim? What is the motivation? What is the ultimate dream with the project like this?
Well, the club has been in a difficult situation for the last 2-3 seasons. With Al Ahly Tripoli being the club that's more dominant. didn't have a very strong campaign in the Confederations Cup, lost to Al Masry in the qualifiers. But has always in the past is of course historically it's the biggest and most successful club, most decorated club from a title perspective. So it's a club that has holds a lot of strong connections with its people, and that's what we are trying to revive. You've seen the type of players that they've recruited already, that demonstrates the ambition of the club. And little will people know that in the discussions with Al Ittihad and the owners actually started while I was still in Wydad. When the new ownership took over the club, and unfortunately at that point it was not possible, but their interest persisted, and we believe that this is the right time now to try to move to the next level of the project and try to make something bigger and better with and when people show this type of persistent interest is at such a big club, it's very difficult to continue to resist.
And just tell me about the composition of your technical team.
Not concluded yet. Not everything is concluded yet. So again, I will leave it also to the club to make an announcement very soon, because there's still quite a few things to discuss with quite a few of the individuals, but we've been given a great opportunity to. South Africa is blessed with a lot. In fact, even Africa, let's actually put it there, because there's also quite a few people from many other countries that we are speaking to. So Africa is blessed with a lot of very, very talented professionals and talented individuals who I think will not just help us in the project, but also will educate and try to leave a better mark upon the people we will work with also in Libya, to try to upskill them and try to help them to become better professionals even beyond our time there.
I know one of the things that was reported, I think, back in February, that you were quite unhappy, with the club, your previous club, MC Alger, the lack of activity in the transfer market, where they only signed the midfielder Shadarin Bukada from MC Oran. I don't know that you'd wanted a guy called Sidi Boma Ama from Al Ittihad himself. So would the transfer window opportunity be given to you? I mean, has the new club said to you that you have free reign, bring in the personnel that you want to fulfill the mission of the club itself?
Yeah, this is one of the key negotiation factors, and it was good that it was something that was already discussed and is something we've agreed upon. You speak about Bucholda, he's an unbelievable footballer. I got a chance to work with him for 3 months, but I can tell you, Rob, he's one of the best players I've coached. You know how he plays football, how he smells space, how he plays in a, he plays football. He's a number 10 that doesn't exist anymore in football, and it's just a pity that we spent only 3 months together. So many people say I was unhappy, but when you get a player like that, it makes up for not getting many other players, because you get someone very, very special.
Sure. And special he is. And I think overall, Coach, when you look at, the mission ahead, and it was quite interesting to see you talk about cementing your style of play. And people kept asking you about, is it a 4-4-2? Is it a 4-3-3? And you said those things don't really matter to you. I love the chirp where you said to you, those things are like telephone numbers, So ultimately, I mean, how do you cement? I mean, how do you rubber stamp what a Rulani team looks like?
I've had so many of the same questions, even in South Africa before. If you remember my time at Sundowns when I spoke about shoeshine and piano, and a lot of people said, no, but you've got to abandon the style of play to try to win the Champions League. And they said, would you do that? I said, no, because it's easy in life, Rob. It's easy in life to follow a recipe. It's easy in life to do things the way people have always done them. And the difficulty in what we do in our work and in our lives in general is to do things the Robert Marawa way. It's not to do things the way that it has been done, and that's why you are one of the best in the world, because you've broken barriers. You've tried to do it your way, and that's what I try to do. I try to watch Barca and I see the offside trap, and I think, yeah, but with this tweak and this high line, and if you work a little bit on the press in this way, maybe it can work based on the players that you have. Or I watch Real Madrid and I see the build-up that they made against Manchester City, and I see the position of Ada Gula and the possibility of the centre back Mark Gay being pulled into the midfield, and then the movement of Valverde. And I try to say, would we be able to get the same trajectory with the pass like Courtois, and try to manipulate these type of things. I am that type of coach. I try to steal a lot of ideas. I try to watch a lot of things. I don't necessarily believe in formations, because I think they are just starting positions from kickoff, and thereafter I think everything just happens in relation to where the ball is, in relation to where the space appears, in relation to where the opposition moves. And when you have the ball in your box, what happens? And when the opposition have the ball in their box, what happens? And then the spaces in between, when the ball moves on the left, what happens? And what you try to do in certain principles. A lot, when I spoke that I don't believe in width a few years ago, people tried to convince me that I was delusional about this. But now a lot of people understand basically where the game has gone with centrality and verticality. And you see even a coach like Pep Guardiola adopting similar types of playing principles, but it's when you watch a lot and you say, Liverpool have been winning or trying to do this with Jurgen Klopp, and he's trying to put these principles and it's working, and maybe he's trying to do it a little bit before many other people have tried to. Then you steal these ideas, and you see Nagelsmann also trying to speak about minimal width, and you invest your time in trying to study and understand what that means, and then you try to adopt these, but adapt them to your thinking, to the quality of the players that you have, and the league that you play in. And for me, this is what interests me. I love to see myself as when I close my eyes, I see myself as a and maybe this is the problem, but I see myself as a football scientist. I try to put this in this pot and see what will happen at the end. And sometimes what happens is disastrous, and sometimes it's magic, And,
well, that
and
football scientist that you are is taking you to greater heights right now, heading off to Libya, coach, and then congratulations for that. And I could tell, that's the spark. That's what lights you up when you're talking about football, is what really brings the life out of you. I am flat out of time, but I just wanted to ask you, you can say yes or no, or a number. You don't have to tell me a name, but would a South African or South African players form part of that list of players that you want to bring across?
If they are available, yes, why not?
Okay, and just to clear the air, no criminal record on your name, right?
Nope.
All right. That's the one that I was worried about. So if you're saying that makes me happy. And thank you so much indeed for the honor, the pleasure, and the privilege of having you on the radio, on YouTube, on the many platforms, Facebook, and multiple radio stations that are plugged into our unique setup here on hashtag MSW. I think South Africans can breathe a little sigh of relief now. Thank you so much, Coach, for affording us that opportunity.
Thank you, Big Rob. Always a pleasure speaking to you and your listeners. Thanks for your time. Thank you very much.
All right. Safe travels, Bub.
Many blessings. God bless, Big Rob. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very, very much indeed. Well, wow. Again, another record, another first for hashtag MSW in the manner that we did. And I hope that everybody that was watching on the YouTube channel, you could eat your hearts out in terms of, we can't get to the many questions that we do have, but time does run out, like with anything else. So catch us again tomorrow for another edition of hashtag MSW Marawa Sports Worldwide, powered by Hollywood Bats.
The thrill, the drama, the action.
Let the game begin.
Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Vuma FM and Rise FM. Powered by Hollywood Bets. Hashtag MSW. Live